event, but it is a main event. Does it feel like a big moment or a big opportunity to be in the headliner again?
Yeah, big opportunity. I'm 0-2 in my main events here at the Apex. So when they gave me another opportunity, I was like, okay, let's do it. I wanted like the crowd. I was excited to be in North Carolina, Charlotte, the crowd. So I have like a little bit trauma, I guess you could say, here, but I wanted to break that too at the same time. So back here, I've had good moments at Apex too, so I'm not complaining. And it's media, it's, you know, another poster, you know, to have at home. So it's a great opportunity, and it's 1 week later too, so it's not so bad.
Yeah. I guess the fact that you're 0-2 in main events, I mean, is there any link there at all? I mean, look, you're fighting at the highest level. You're going to have setbacks or whatever, but they both happen to be. Is it just coincidence, or is there anything you take out of those that you think, I wasn't approaching that right?
I mean, I don't think as like a strategy-wise, but I think the type of fighters that I was given for my main events, Marina and Yan Xiaonan, I think they were both really experienced fighters with good movement, you know, and for me, now going into this fight and with my loss, I have a vision that's better, as in like, okay, I don't need to submit every single round, like this pressure and just this anxiety, you know, not anxiety, but like excitement, you know, I need to submit, you know, if I didn't finish the first round, then the second round, if I didn't finish and then you could kind of see the emotion and the frustration getting in, and I'm like, okay, these girls, they know how to win by like points, you know, and they know how to use the rule book, which is part of the game, you know, not that it's bad, but, you know, the judges, I feel like with Yan Xiaonan, I feel like I could have won that fight, you know, like I feel I did so much on the ground, but it wasn't enough to get like a 10-8, and now I understand like, hey, if I'm on the cage, you know, the cage is like the ground, but up, you know, so instead of getting to the cage and take it down, like ground and, like not ground and pound, but elbows, knees, make them, you know, win the round, you know, don't force myself to, you know, fall on bottom or something, so a little bit like tactical things that I think this fight it's really going to show, and but not necessarily because of 5 rounds or 3 rounds. I think just with the opponents, they brought that out of me, and I think I was confident. I was more confident about submitting Yan Xiaonan and Marina than I was about Angela. You know what I mean? I think Angela is a little bit harder to submit. She's scrappy, you know, and things like that. And I was so confident to submit them, and I wanted to submit them that it was a little bit like too excited, you know, instead of more patience and calm and precision.
You talk about like the tactic change and the mindset change. Like, have you been able to work on that, like in sparring? Like, has that been the primary focus, or is it like, I hope I do it on Saturday?
Yeah, no, I've been working on that this whole camp. It's been so crazy. Like, my divorce has been crazy. Like, everything. Coach Perillo, he was out of town for a month with Luke for his bare knuckle fight, you know. So it's like, basically, this camp was like tactic in having this vision of fighting that I never had before. And I feel kind of like, man, I'm like 10 fights in the UFC and I just found that out now, you know, like to understand that I just need to win the round. And if you do that each round, you win the fight, you know, instead of me thinking, like I would finish the round and out of 1 minute, I'd spend maybe 20 seconds, like, did I win that round? You know, like at this level, the top 5, top 10, you can't finish the round and not know if you won or not. You know, you need to be leaving the round and know, like, yeah, I'm winning here, I'm losing here. Okay, what I needed to steal the round. Okay, what are the judges seeing? You know, and that's kind of the tactic that I was able to train on this camp, since it was so crazy. Was more like understanding the MMA game, and that we do use the judges and we do like steal things. You know, you steal the round and do this and have that, instead of me going for submission and falling on bottom and maybe they steal the round at the end. You know.
In talking about the matchup, it sounds like you have a lot of respect for Angela as an opponent. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she has more than 30 fights, I think. So it's like, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think she was like in the house, the Ultimate Fighter house with the OG girls of the division. I think she was like later cut, and then I think she came back in, and now she's worked all the way up here. So I definitely think with everything she's gone through, I'm fighting the best version of Angela right now, you know, so I'm happy about that, because, you know, the better the opponent, the higher the fight is, you know, the better you get pushed. But yeah, I mean, she has experience. I think a lot of her fights are like by decision, or her wins or her losses. So she's not a girl that I want to mess up my tactic, which is why I lost my 2 main event in my mind, how I see it. She's definitely someone that I don't want to let her get ahead. I don't want her to get her rhythm, because I see her kind of start to flow when she gets her rhythm. And she's scrappy, she doesn't give up, she's not easy to submit or knock out. So that's why I have like this respect for her, but, and also too, like I said, when I was confident I was going to submit, I didn't submit. I did everything but the submission, So now definitely for this fight, I'm coming with a lot of aggression, from my personal life and everything. So nothing personal against Angela, but I know I have a lot of respect for her, but I need to get it done.
You're technically the higher ranked fighter. Obviously, she's a veteran. But are you thinking about rankings? Because before you had the setbacks, we were talking about title shots. And are you thinking about that stuff at all, or have you found maybe it's better to just not think about that stuff?
No, for sure I'm thinking about it. I just turned 30. I'm feeling like I'm getting to my best, like physically, mentally, experience, maturity level right now, like 30, 31. So I'm the path to the belt is like I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. I don't want anything. I feel like so many things are trying to like kind of bring me down. I changed managers. It's like the divorce, the gym. There's so much stuff going on that I don't want something to take me off of my course. But to stay on course, I need to have a plan, and so it's not like I'm looking past Angela, but I do want to know, okay, if I lose, if I win, who would be this? And especially with like Virna, who beat Marina, and Marina beat me, and I beat Virna, and then Yun beat, it's just so much stuff happened division. I see myself in there, and I know I feel more confident, like, yeah, I'm supposed to be there, I just need to get back on the winning streak. But I mean, I don't know, Rose, or even a second with Yan Shannon, or I know Collar's pregnant, but so that's great. But yeah, definitely planning like the next steps to the belt.
Last thing for me, I'm sure ideally, even though you're not pushing the submission, you get a submission, but it sounds like you're prepared to go all 5 rounds. So I guess, what do you anticipate? I mean, do you think this is going to end up being a 5-round battle?
I don't think it'll be 5 rounds. I don't think it'll be the first round, but I think it'll be within like three rounds, a submission, yeah.
Hey, Mackenzie.
Hi.
How was it fighting in front of Mark Zuckerberg last time out?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, but that was like more crazy to me than this like changing 1 week later to main event. That was like, okay, main event. I've trained so hard for this fight, and then Tuesday they called me. Like Tuesday, I'm already driving out. My family's coming. Oh, it's closed, and I'm like, and then I'm like, shoot, like. The apex is already like quiet, but then it's even more quiet, where you can just kind of hear things. So that was a little bit, and then the whole media, I think I said something I wasn't supposed to say. I wasn't sure, and I was like getting calls. So that was a little bit like crazy for me during the fight week, but it was fun. It was a great opportunity. I got to meet him and his wife, and yeah, it's good. I saw that he just competed too, so it's really cool to see him as a supporter of the sport.
I think you said in an interview a few months ago, like you want to return to your finishing roots, right? You just want to go in there and finish your goals. Like, what is that? Just because like that's what you're known for, or is it just kind of like a mindset where you're just like, I am so good on the ground. Like, why not? Why am I not using that?
Yeah, both. In my jiu-jitsu career, I was very like forward pace, always going for submissions, and that was just kind of like how I was known in jiu-jitsu. I always think like. It's better to be attacking and them defending than them getting them to defend me. So that's just my insight. But also too, I mean, like I said, I want to be the champion. That's my goal, number 1 goal. But I don't want to be just like a champion that people are going to forget about, in a couple years or something like that. I want to be remembered. So if that's like, I need to have the most submissions like Charlize de Bronx and break some records, then that's what I want. If that's the way I do it by submissions, which I think I have all the capability of doing, then that's what I'm going to do. And also too, I think it's just when you go out with that mentality to submission, it's like the amount of girls that have that defense or that they get nervous with that, it helps so much, to know that these strikers, like, I know I'm going to find one striker that's not going to be scared and they're going to like come at me. But when you have that presence and you know that they're not letting go 100% on you on their striking because they're nervous of the ground, I need to take advantage of that, and I don't want to lose that. I want to keep, like, hey, if I take it to the ground, I will go for it. It's just, it almost kind of gives me an overconfidence that, okay, I'll submit. And then, like Marina and Jan, I'm doing, like, switching from omoplata to the katagatame to the armbar to the, I'm doing all these submissions, and they defend, like, not even defend, they kind of resist one, and then I'm like, okay, I'll get the next one. And then all of a sudden the round stops, and we start back up again, and I didn't get anything. And I wasn't able to get like a 10-8 round because it's not really impactful. No one knows how deep the omoplata is. Only I know. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like just that mentality, like, okay, whatever submission I go for it. And if they don't give it to me, like, ground and pound, until they give it to me, make them want to give it to me, instead of forcing it and being like overconfident, like, okay, I will get on the next one and the next one, and then the time's over, and then I have to go through everything again.
Sure. Thank you for that. And finally, the next strawweight title fight, it was announced yesterday. Weili Zhang's going to fight Amanda Lemos. I just wanted your thoughts on that matchup.
Yeah, I think Amanda Lemos is going to win. She's tough. Yeah, she's strong. She's a good, like, counter puncher. I think she's going to get the win. And I think she has ground game too. So I think she'll get it. But it'll be a good fight. I'm excited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, thanks for taking the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious, I don't think you said no to anybody, but when you got the call, the details about, okay, it's going to be we're going to go from 3 to 5. It's going to be your main event.
Mm-hmm.
You had touched on, like, main events I've come up short. Do you see this as like perfect? I want that redemption. This is exactly what I wanted to right the wrongs.
Now I do. Now I do. Now that I'm here, seeing all you guys, and there's nowhere to run, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is the time. Now I got this, But as soon as they were telling me the offer, like, my heart was kind of like, the trauma, everything has like superstition and all these things, and with everything going around, because my camp was so crazy, I was like, man, I really wanted, since I did lose 2, I wanted my next main event to be with a well-trained camp so I don't lose. But, I think that everything happens for a reason, and, I think this was the opportunity, and I wasn't going to say no to it, because then I'm just kind of running away from my fears, like, fears as in, I know if I lose, it's not going to be like the end of the world, but I want to win, and I don't want to not win because, oh, my camp was this or camp was that, or because my mind I was nervous, I wanted to win, like, independent of all that, because I have the ability to win, independent of everything that's going on. So definitely I was like a little bit anxious and like, I don't know if I should do it. I should stay the crowd. I was kind of hoping my next main event would be in front of a crowd, not back at the Apex. But if this was opportunity to give it to me, I think there's a reason for it, for me to like go and break it,
Excellent. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And lastly for me, with everything going around, I'm assuming that once you make that walk, then you'll be like, okay, I've been here many times. All the chaos outside of my life, like this is what I know and what I was born to do.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what got me like to say like, okay, let's do it, because I was looking so forward. Even me fighting in Charlotte, it was almost kind of like, I don't know, like an escape for me a little bit in a way to get away from everything. Like, okay, it's just 3 rounds, I'm going to kind of I even kind of disappeared from my social media for a little bit because of everything. And I was kind of just get back in the win streak, there won't be that much media. There's lots of good fighters on there, so get my win and then get everything organized. So it was even like that, it was kind of like I was doing, like having an escape for everything that was going on with me. And this is just like, I have to face it head on. And being in the fight, I'm looking so forward to being like 25 minutes just doing what I love to do, and, like adversity, that's what I need, I don't want it to be easy for me, So in a way, I was kind of like trying to hide from it, but the best way is just to face it on. And that's what I'm looking for, like you said, like to be in there 25 minutes. I'm not worrying about MOA. I'm not worried about whatever's going on in my personal life. I'm just worried about hitting Angela Hill and beating her. Nothing personal, though.
Excellent. Sounds great, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.